Hey everybody, it's Opie here, First Light here, and doing some cooking tonight. So, wanted to bring it to you guys, show you guys what we do. You see us out in the field hunting and killing deer, and killing dogs, fishing, but one of the things we do is we cook, smoke some food. Tonight, we got a nice pork tenderloin, courtesy of our local butcher down the street. We got a great venison recipe. We're actually not using venison tonight because we didn't have any thawed out. So we feel like thawing it out, and I'm getting kind of hungry. Texas getting kind of hungry. So we got some sizzlers take the place of the venison. But it's a great recipe that I love to use. We got some other things that we're going to do for dinner tonight, but just wanted to bring it all to you and show you what we're going to do, and then walk you through it. We're smoking it up, tenderloin on the smoker. The shish kebabs are going to be going on the grill, and it's going to be delicious. So let's get started. First things first, whenever you're cooking, gotta always have some bean. Little beverage, whatever your choice is. We have shooting for about 6 o'clock start time, maybe 6:30. 7 o'clock for the grill. Put this on the smoker. It's going to take about almost 3 pounds, so it's going to take about 2.5 hours maybe. So we want to get this going in our dry rub and get it marinated and ready to rock and roll. Same thing with the shish kebab meat. We're going to marinate that and get that all ready to rock and roll. Let's pull this bad boy out and see what we got going. Alright, now that the meat's all dressed up, it's ready to go, what we're going to do is we're going to grab a bowl for the meat, sit in. I'm going to throw them in here one at a time. We're going to take a dry rub that we prepared, which is going to be some bunch of different spices and flavors. So we got some brown sugar in here. We have some cayenne pepper, some crushed red pepper, some seasoned salt, a bunch of different little spices like that. You can get some recipes for some really good dry rubs off the internet or from a cooking book. This is just one I like that I've kind of come up with over the years. And you're just going to coat the meat with it. And as you're going to sprinkle it on little by little, kind of make sure it gets in the meat, and then just kind of really rub it in. Just make sure it gets in there. Once you get them all rubbed up, you're just going to pop them back down in the bowl. Bad boys are good to go. We'll let them sit like that for a little while until we get the grill to a temperature that we like, and then we're going to smoke them. Throw them on the smoker. So the next time that you see those bad boys, they're going to be getting ready to go on the smoker, courtesy of Tech. Pork's going to be our main course, that pork tenderloin, but for that, it's going to take a while on the smoker, so we like to have a little bit of an appetizer to eat beforehand, so we usually come up with something creative. One of my favorite things to do, just because it's pretty simple, it's easy, they cook fast, they don't take a lot of time on the grill. It's usually about 5 or 10 minutes to really kind of just, maybe 15 minutes to cook up these shish kebabs. It's kind of nice. You can prepare them ahead of time, keep them covered in the fridge. If you have friends that have come over late, you're just standing around grilling, watching the game, you can throw on a couple extra shish kebabs for them, and they can be ready to eat in 15 minutes. So nobody misses out. So we're starting with these two sizzler steaks. And as you can see, these steaks are already dressed by the butcher. Somebody was actually going to eat these as just regular steak, but we're going to dock them up a little bit. And this is also a great recipe that you can do with venison. I do this with top round and bottom round. It's phenomenal in this dish. As well as if you really want to waste them, obviously backstraps or tenderloins would be phenomenal as shish kebabs too. But I like to have those a separate way, which I'll show you guys another time. So I usually use venison, top round or bottom round, or sirloin from the venison. So anyways, what we're going to do is we're gonna dice these steaks up and get them into bite-sized chunks that we're going to be using on our shish kebabs. So we're going to throw it in a dish, and we're actually going to create a marinade. And we're going to let this sit and marinate for a while. So we're going to add a couple different spices, not too much. I want to make these a little bit on the spicier side. I like spicier dishes, so does Tex, but also extremely flavorful. So first of all, we're just going to go ahead and add just a little bit of salt. Not a lot of salt, you don't really need it. And just a little bit of fresh ground pepper. Next up, we're going to just take a little bit of oregano. I love oregano on red meat. It really fills it out. Just sprinkle a little oregano on there. And then we're going to take a little bit of crushed red pepper. A lot of people are scared of crushed red pepper. I don't think it's really that spicy. So even if you're not a big fan of spicy foods, you can add just a little bit of crushed red pepper. Most of it's going to stay in your marinade, but it will just add a lot more flavor and not very much spice to your dish. So I'm going to use actually quite a bit. I want to make these a little bit spicier. And next, just going to add some basic Worcestershire sauce, run of the mill. A couple tablespoons. And last but not least, sorry for walking out of the frame, but we're going to add a little Jim Beam. I like using bourbon. You can use whiskey if you want. Some people use rum. Just an ounce, maybe an ounce or two. What that does is, especially if you have a short marinade time, the alcohol really helps the meat a lot to absorb the flavors of your marinade, and it also helps to tenderize the meat a little bit. So we're just going to mix this all around. So for the time being, our meats are both all ready. The next step, now I'm just going to prepare my vegetables that way. I like to do it ahead of time. I can relax until it's time to stew. We're going to throw things on the grill. So I just prepare my vegetables, put them on a little paper plate, and when I'm ready to skewer them, we're ready to go. You're just going to chop it into sections that are about big enough to cover one side of one of these pieces of meat. So the meat's about that big, so we don't need about this much of the onion. Next up, we have green pepper. Secret ingredient for these shish kebabs, besides the marinade, is some good bacon. We're going to actually wrap the meat in bacon. So you can just take, it's about this long. I usually like to just shake it and just split it right down the middle. Just leave about the same amount of meat on each side. And that's just going to go around that piece of meat when it's on the skewer. So there's our bacon, ready to go. Got our green peppers, got our onions, and our meats are marinating. All we have left to do is just snap the green peas, which is pretty simple, and fire up the grill. So we'll see you there.
Alright, here we are. We're outside now. We got the smoker fired up, got it up to temperature, and we got our apple wood here. We've been smoking with some chips. We got our meat.
We got pork tenderloin on the smoker, cooking right along. So we got about 2 hours left on that now, but we're going to go ahead and make some preparations. We're going to start our appetizers. So we have our shish kebab skewers. These ones are long ones, so I wrapped them in some sopping wet just paper towels. Just keep them that way they don't burn and quite as easy. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a skewer. We got everything prepared here. I'm going to start off by putting a little green pepper on. These stay on the edge pretty hard, so they don't fall off when you're cooking them. Keeps everything kind of in place. Next, we're going to take a piece of our meat that we marinated, along with one of our pieces of bacon. That meat. Everybody loves bacon flavoring. And it also helps, the fat in the bacon kind of helps keep the meat tender and moist, especially if you're cooking with venison. It's a good way to help keep your venison moist and kind of tender when you grill it. And next we're going to add an onion. So we got pepper and onion, bacon, right around our meat. You can add other things if you want to. I usually like adding a good pineapple, but in Michigan in December they're hard to come by. Here's the finished product on the appetizers. We still have about 45 minutes to go on the tenderloin and before we eat dinner, so we're ready to go on some of these delicious shish kebabs.
Is it unbelievable?
Unbelievable. Alright, I'll show you guys this. Tex is the grill master. For all you guys that grill, you know how hard it is to get that small of pieces perfectly medium rare. We're all done. We just pulled these tenderloins off the smoker about 12 minutes ago. Let them tin up a little bit. Brings up the core temperature a little bit, letting them sit covered in tin foil. So, let's see what we got. Simple as that.
Unbelievable.
We got Tex, Grill Master.
That's what we do.
It only took us 3 hours.
Yeah, 3 hours. Gourmet dinner.
Gourmet
like
dinner with a gourmet appetizer. 3 hours.
A few drinks later.
Couple drinks. Good times.
Unbelievable.
Oh. Should probably just throw it out right now. That's not good at all.
So tender and juicy.
After dinner, everyone always needs a little dessert. So I had this ice cream sandwich ice cream imported from Paris. And earlier today, we only have 2 left, believe it or not, but I made about 24 peanut butter cookies with Hershey's Chocolate Kiss right on top. So what you could do is drop it right in there, scoop some of this wonderful French ice cream out. Who doesn't like an ice cream sandwich? I mean, come on. When you were kids, it's probably the greatest tasting thing you've ever had. This is going to be so good. Okay. Throw a couple Hershey Kisses on the top. Set that bad boy right there. We are missing a little whipped cream, but I could run down and get that at the local grocery store, but I think that'll do it.
This is what we do.
That's right.
Dinner time, we're smoking meat.